In this video, we're gonna make fudge mint brownies with some candy canes on top for a little bit of holiday yayishness. We're gonna do a taste test, the box mix and a new recipe that I just found. And I have tweaked it to make it my own. Well, let's get started. You're going to prepare the box mix just like the directions. I've got all the ingredients already in the bowl except for the chocolate chips, which will be added because the recipe doesn't call for that. I have put vanilla extract and mint in here. Measurement for measurement, everything is very similar to the scratch recipe. Same amount of eggs, same bake time. You know, it's a box, so there's some junk in it that nobody can really pronounce. And it calls for oil rather than butter. So, for this recipe, we're going to need we are going to need 1 cup of butter. I think I've only got half a cup in here. 2 1/4 cups of granulated sugar. 1 1/4 cup of Dutch processed cocoa. 1 teaspoon of baking powder. 1 teaspoon of salt. 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract. 1 tablespoon of peppermint extract. 4 large eggs. 1 1/2 cups of all-purpose flour. And 2 cups of semi-sweet chocolate chips. Or I'm a little short, so what I also am going to do is substitute syrup. I like to mix it in my box recipe half and half. So I'm going to do that. You do you. This chocolate chips have to be melted anyways, so they're going to be syrupy. And you also need a tablespoon of espresso powder. I don't have any, I'm using instant coffee. Not going to be as bitter, but it'll work. Let's get this box out of here. Okay, I was off. The box took 2 eggs. This will take 4. So I actually will need another egg because I'm short one. And I'm short some butter. I only did I only did 1 stick of butter, not 2. You know, reminds of a scatterbrain at times. I'm gonna just get this melted. I'll be back. We're back. I'm going to get all the ingredients in this other bowl. So we need butter. And I got a piece of paper in there. I got it out. I can't keep, the microwave was exploding, so I didn't quite melt it all the way, but that's okay. 2 1/2 cups of sugar. About 1/4 cup there. There's 1/2 cup. And just because you could probably cut some of the sugar out of this because of the chocolate chips. It's not going to hurt nothing. It's just going to be less fudgy. Flour. I'm going to do this over the sink. measurements again. I get it. I know. I'm just eyeballing this. There's a half cup. When you bake, as long as you know what's. I didn't sift it, but you know what? It's gonna turn out just fine. You learn. Okay. 1 1/4 cup of cocoa. That's 1 cup. Butter is in there. Baking powder. Where's my teaspoon? One teaspoon of salt. Now for the chocolate chips. This is the part where I have to add them. Oh, and then the instant coffee. I have to melt the chocolate chips. And I got them on the floor. I'm going to do 1 bag at a time. And then while those are melting, we're going to throw in our vanilla. Sometimes we'll also need, for the top of the brownies, you're going to need these Andes mints or some candy and some candy cane, crushed candy cane. Fudge makes these crushed candy canes, but the cheapest place to get them right now is Winco. That little bag's about $5. If you go to Winco, you can get a massive cereal size bag for about $15. It'll last you all year if you're a candy cane junkie. So our mint extract. We'll do roughly, and sometimes I put those Andes mints into the recipe, but they're kind of expensive, so I haven't been doing that. Save them for the top. We're going to put about 1/4 or 1/3 of a cup of syrup in here. We're going to do that for both of these. I've already got the extract and all the other ingredients in this, except for the chocolate chips. Got my eggnog. I wish I had some rum. I was just thinking about that, and then I remembered that I have these bourbon and rum cherries that I canned a few years ago. I had to leave this house a few years ago, and I left these here and forgot about them. you could have these on top of these brownies with some ice cream. I haven't tried these since I've made them, so I'm gonna get something and try a little bit of this liquor in my eggnog. It's gonna take a minute. I just need to. I'll be back. I'm just gonna let these melt and just get enough melted for both batches. I actually think that this was canned in cognac and the other one was bourbon. I don't remember which is which. Oh my gosh. Burns my mouth. Had some dental work done and mouth is a little sore. Shoot, I'm gonna have to make those again. Tried some of this in the, some cherry. I don't know if this is the rum or if this is the bourbon. I think that it's either, it's not rum, but it's not bourbon. Bourbon was more, this might be the cognac. It is so smooth, and that cherry flavor with the eggnog. So if you can your own cherries for Christmas, there's a lot of homesteaders that do it, and people not in Utah. Still aren't melted yet. Gotta clean this microwave. The butter exploded in here earlier. There's hard-boiled eggs in the fridge. These ones are the bourbon cherries. I will take jars and things that can be water bathed. I'll recan in these 2 or 3 times, or I'll buy new lids and reuse the jar. Those cherries, I think, are 4 or 5 years old. Oh, they're good. They say you want to let them sit for about 6 months. What you doing? Man, this does not want to. Chocolate chips. Now you can do this over a double boiler, but I'm just doing it in the microwave because that's what I feel like doing. Doesn't take a lot of this. I didn't think cherry would go good with eggnog, but it's really good. You know what I didn't do is I didn't put the eggs in here. Preoccupied brain. Had 3 eggs in a bowl. Let me do a 4th one. All right, I'm gonna go check on these chocolate chips. I'll be back. All right, we got the chocolate chips. Guess what I did? This microwave, I'm not it's not the same one that was here when I was here a few years ago. So this thing scorched my chocolate chips, and I've got this pile of char in this bowl, so I ended up having to go over to the stove anyways. You live, you learn. That's life. So we're gonna put in half of the chocolate chips into this bowl and half over here. You know, it's life. Making a royal mess, but that's okay. There's a lot more chocolate in there than it looked like. Let's get these mixed together. And then find some hands. I'm just going to whisk this with a spatula. I mean, it's whatever. You know, this mix over here looks like it's a lot bulkier than the box mix. I'm going to try a 9x9 pan for this, and then I think this is going to need a 9x13. I don't think it's going to matter much. Bake times are the same. And so is the temperature. I am going to end up making a few more batches, depending on how this turns out. I'm going to end up making a few more batches of brownies to take to work this week for our winter social. My best friend is watching this right now. Her and I would be making extra mix and laughing. We laugh every time we make these brownies. We used to have a few half-baked brownie ideas. She's probably laughing as we cook these. This recipe actually was so this recipe came about from her recipes, her brownie recipe, which was a fudge brownie, and so this isn't hers exactly, it's similar, but I took the box mix, and we used to do fudge brownies, and then it's kind of a tradition at Christmas and through the year. And then somebody else made a chocolate lava cake that they would put mint in. So I got the idea from combining those two, and putting the candy cane and Andes mints on top was kind of a my own little twist. This mix is really dry. I don't understand how this doesn't have any liquid in it. That takes 2 tablespoons of liquid. You know, this just comes to show you how things online can. And I haven't tested this. This is my first time making it. It's really similar to hers. Okay, chocolate chips, 9x13 mixture, sugar, eggs. You know what? This is too dry. I'm not satisfied with this. This is way too dry for the amount of ingredients that are in here. And looking at that and this, I'm going to be right back. I think this is going to need some milk or something in it. This recipe does not list any liquid, but come on, you can't have brownies that are like sandpaper. Okay, guys. So, recalibrating. Here's what went wrong. Number one, I either didn't sift the flour well enough. I always do that, and I usually sift it in the bag really well, and there was a little more flour. Or the other recipes that are similar to this do take milk or water, so I added 3 cups of milk. As far as balance goes, I tasted it. It tastes chocolatey. I just needed to add another half a cup of sugar. So instead of 2.25 cup, I added 3/4 of a cup. So 3 cups of sugar. You know, we're human. And the reason I tested this recipe on camera was to show you how we can get preoccupied. I was so busy yakking about the nostalgia that I forgot to look in the present. Easy enough to do. When you don't remember to stay in the present, well, you lose track of what's important. In this case, it was the value of measuring the ingredients correctly. And no, I didn't double check the recipe because I wanted to show you what real human mistakes can look like. You live, you learn. Right now I'm just lining this pan. I always drop that lid. I'm going to chuck this out and get a new cooking spray, but I don't like. It's whatever. I'm going to I'll be right back. I'm going to get these into the pans. Okay, guys. That other batch made 2 big pans. It said 9 by 9. It said 1 9 by 12. You know, that's just part of being human. Is we really need to check things, and not all of us do. But that's the homemade, and this is the box. So I'll see you back here. And put this in the oven to bake for 25 minutes, and I'll see you back here. Well, guys, this is the brownies. That's the homemade one. That's the boxed one. I'm gonna plate these up. Let's taste them. Melted the chocolate. I didn't film it. I was late, but melted the Andes mints down, spread them on top, and then the candy cane bits. I don't think I like this brand of candy cane as much. The bits are bigger. When you buy them at Winco, they're a lot more uniform, but whatever. Okay, be right back. Okay, guys, let's try these. I'm doing this a little differently than I planned. This is the homemade one. This is the box. And then I've got some of those boozy cherries I opened. Sorry. I got some of the boozy cherries that I opened. Don't have ice cream, but, you know, let's try these. This is a store-bought one. I mean, it's fudgy. I didn't want a very big piece, so I just cut a small one. As usual, that's good. Try it with the cherry. Ooh. Mmm. Man, with some ice cream, that would be well, it's a little bit more cake-like, but tastes a little bit better than the store-bought. Store-bought's a little softer. I think next time I'm going to try halving this recipe. Let's try it with the cherry. Yeah. I mean, either way it works. It's a little quicker to buy the box. You know? I made some mistakes in real time on here, but that's just life. That's just something we struggle with, you know? Confessions may not earn me any brownie points, no pun intended, but being real. I don't know. I need to make a few friends that I can spend some time with. It's important to me I talk about stuff because it's important to me to keep working on myself. I want to be the best version of myself I can be and just learn how to live life normally, you know? Not normally, but function in society. Well, it's a good way to connect with people and it can be enjoyable to do. Well, that's my 2 cents. Take care.